Enemy Intel is brought to you by Rothman Institute at Jefferson, the official orthopedic and healthcare partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
This week, the Philadelphia Eagles defense will be matched against the Dallas Cowboys offense that, quite honestly, is a little uncertain right now. This will be their second game without Ezekiel Elliott. And their first game, they only scored 7 points, and they did not run the ball with the same kind of commitment that we know they would have had Elliott been there. So what does that mean as we go forward? Do we see more run? Maybe. But let's focus our attention on the quarterback, Dak Prescott. He's actually had a very good season. And the thing that stands out about Dak Prescott is his increasing ability to make plays outside of structure. And that could be very important if the Cowboys' run game stays relatively dormant. And we can see Dak do this. Let's look at the Los Angeles Rams. They have a very good pass rush with their front four, much like the Eagles. So you could well see this. This is Aaron Donald. Think Fletcher Cox. This looks like an easy sack for Donald. But what does Prescott do? He is able to shake off Donald and then make a throw across his body to a wide open Dez Bryant. The really important thing here, he kept his eyes downfield and was able to throw the ball at the intermediate level. That's what Prescott can do, and you have to be very, very careful of that. The other thing is in the red zone. This is where the Cowboys are actually very good, and they're very good with Dak running by design, but also improvisationally. Here's another good example. Here, you see the Chiefs, they're playing two-man coverage. Now, when you play two-man coverage, nobody normally accounts for the quarterback, as is the case here. So Prescott, who's a very savvy, smart player, he sees that. This was actually a drop-back pass, not a run, but he takes off and he scores. The Eagles must be very disciplined in their rush lanes. They cannot let Prescott escape either to the side or certainly not up the middle. And it becomes increasingly important in the red zone. So this is a very intriguing matchup for the Eagles defense against Dak Prescott, who can throw well from the pocket, but really he can beat you outside the pocket as well.
All right, Ike Reese, we've seen how Dak Prescott can be lethal throwing the ball, but that run-pass option, the ability to run with his legs, that is tough for a defender. And he actually leads the NFL in rushing touchdowns amongst quarterbacks. So how tough is it as a linebacker to cover him?
Well, it's not only tough for a linebacker, it's tough for the defensive coordinator, Jim Schwartz, to try to put a game plan together to try to contain a mobile quarterback. So we got a little bit of experience since we played Alex Smith earlier in the year. And if you watch on this play here, what you got to do, you got to get contained. So you're going to have to call defensive plays that will allow for outside containment that's going to force Dak Prescott to stay in the pocket like you see here with Alex Smith. So as you watch this play run, you're going to see Fletcher does a great job getting outside. So does Vinnie Curry. You got Jordan Hicks and Tim Jernigan in here on the inside. And so that sort of shrinks the lanes that Alex Smith can sort of take off from. And what I like from Fletcher is when you get outside and you realize you've gotten to the level of the quarterback, now you can start to constrict the pocket, come under if need be, and then come in for the play. Great job from Fletcher Cox here on a real dangerous quarterback that when typically he doesn't see something open, he's going to take off. But that's a great job from that front, keeping him bottled in. Now watch here last year against the Dallas Cowboys, you're going to see Brandon, outside job is to keep him contained, but like most defensive ends, they want to get to this guy, right? They want to try to get the sack. So the mistake that Brandon makes is he comes under. So as you watch the play run, he makes a mistake of losing contain, getting outside, but then here's where the defense has to rally. Fletcher Cox does a great job not going here. It's going to be difficult to catch Dak Prescott if you chase him up the field, but you got to kind of cut off his angle. That's what Fletcher does. You also need help from the other defenders. Malcolm does a great job keeping his shoulders square to the line, vision on the quarterback. So does Jordan Hicks, but it's really the effort from the guys up front. That's what you're going to need. You're going to need guys on the back end to do the coverage, but up front, the defensive line has to do their job to keep Dak Prescott contained in the pocket. Now, he's mobile, so when he does decide to escape, you got to rally to the football, and you got to get there as fast as possible. Quarterbacks that are dual threats, they're always difficult. You can only take away one thing at a time, but you're going to have to do it collectively. effectively.
And without Ezekiel Elliott, I mean, the Cowboys were the second best rushing team in the NFL. Only Le'Veon Bell would rush the ball more than Ezekiel. How does that affect Dak now?
Well, in a number of ways. First of all, it hurts the defense because it keeps them on the field a lot longer for the Dallas Cowboys. But as far as Prescott goes, it puts a lot more pressure on him to get yards in those earlier downs. They're going to rely on him throwing the ball a lot more. That's what you want as a defense. Offensively, I don't think that's what Dallas wants to do.